Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in on the weekend wrap up of the Juice Box Heroes podcast. I'm one of your hosts, PK, and tonight we have just me and Sweet B Bones Bryles. Moreno, Mr. Dubon fan club president, is in Corpus Christi. I'm assuming on his way back, but he's down there with his son for his birthday. So happy for him. Me and Bryles will take you through the wrap up of the weekend. Bryles, how are you doing, sir?
Good, buddy. Happy birthday, Benjamin. Hope you had a great weekend. I know those guys had a great time going to the Hooks game tonight. That's pretty cool. Always like to go see the Astros in their minor league version when you can. But anyway, yeah, no, it was a great weekend. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but we look pretty good on our predictions. I know at least I hit mine. So anyway, we had a fun series with Cleveland, and I'm can't wait to get into it. How was your weekend, man?
It was pretty good. It was busy day yesterday, but overall, man, it was a good weekend. Like you said, I hit the prediction also. I think me and you both went 2-1.
Yes,
Chris,
sir.
I believe, also went 2-1, and then he also said that if McCullers pitched today, he would change it to 3-0. So I think he stayed with 2-1. I think when we got offline on Thursday, I believe it was still TBD. I think until the very end, I think actually you saw something where I think McCullers was going to be the starter, so he actually changed this to sweep. Doesn't really matter. We still got a 2-1 series win. You know, good second place team in the AL Central. That AL Central is kind of pretty deep. You got Tigers, Guardians, and Royals, all battling. So it's good to go up there and get the series win. And now we come home. We got an off day tomorrow. Then we open up a 3-game set against the White Sox. Got a little bit of revenge for those guys as we welcome them to Dyken Park. But let's get into this thing, man. So Friday night, finals 4-2. Okay. Colton Gordon, another good outing for that kid. Like another one, right? 5 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned, 5 Ks. So look, man, we talk about it every time he goes out there. This kid does nothing but give himself another reason to force Espada to put him in the rotation. And on top of that, he finally got his first major league win. So good on Colton Gordon. Keep doing his thing, but he had a pretty damn good night. What do you got? What do you have for Friday?
No, I agree with you. Gordon, when he first came up, just like, any rookie typically is going to do, or any guy coming to AAA that's, just doing a spot start. I mean, those guys are going to look a little shaky to begin with. But no, Gordon's actually kind of found his footing, which is really nice to see. So the fact that he's actually up here, taking a spot in this rotation while we've got a bunch of injuries going on and making us look really good on Friday, that was good to see. One of the things that we've been really holding on to, because you asked like what I saw in the game, one of the things we've been kind of holding on to is that our bullpen has looked really good this entire season. We're starting to get a little shaky, and I'm starting to get worried about that. Now, don't get me wrong. We still won the game 4-2, but when you see traffic coming up, before we get to Hader in a situation like that, and it's not just a little bit of traffic. It's like, okay, now I'm on the edge of my seat. Now I'm watching the game for real. I'm not just passively watching it or anything like that. We've had some instances like that where our defense has bailed us out. Yeah. So I'm not going to necessarily say that Friday was that game all the entire game after, Gordon took a seat. But at the same time, we've been seeing a little bit of that lately. And that's one of the things that I've been really keying on. Other than that, in that game, Pena looked fantastic. He went 3 for 5. He had a stolen base and a couple runs. So it was a big contribution offensively from pretty much the entire staff. We didn't have anything that was really bad or, nobody really had a bad game. Nobody really was looking terrible. So, all in all, it was a good team win. I'm glad that we got behind Gordon, scored some runs for him. And, I really got nothing to complain about.
Yeah, look, you talked about the defense, man. So I texted this in our group chat in the second batter or into the first inning, into the bottom half. Dubon had 2, let's just go air quote, hoses.
Oh, dude. Yes.
Right. 2 hoses from left field over
man.
there. And so we all know how much our third partner loves Dubon. So I just sent him a friendly text to remind him that there's a reason why he has a Golden Glove, and that to look on Twitter because it'll be all over it. So, but you're right. The defense was on point. Dubon, first two guys, he hosts Jose Ramirez. I think he was the second one, and he was not even close like the first guy was. Yeah, defense was on point. And you talked about the bullpen, and I wanted to bring it up because you're going to kind of see a trend as we go through at least these three games that we talk about. And his name is Sean Dubin. Okay. Dubin, like he pitched 2/3 of an inning on Friday and gave up a run. He also pitched on what day is this? Yesterday. No, he did. Pitched yesterday. 2 innings and gave up a run. Today he didn't pitch, right? But the reason I bring that up is because you went to Dubin. I don't remember if you went to Dubin right after Colton Gordon went out, right? Because Brian King went an inning and a third. Dubin went 2/3, but Dubin gave up the run. And so his control here recently, even if you get out of the Cleveland series, has been a little bit in question. And so you had Okert, I think, in the last series, right? We had the Rays. Okert was a little bit wild in that series. And you can look back to the complete blowouts that they had against us, right? The Thursday and I think Saturday game. So, Okert kind of came back. I think he pitched on Saturday. He went 2/3 and gave up a run, 2 Ks, right? So really it's like Dubin and Okert. Those have kind of been the little ups and downs. Like Brian King's pretty much stayed like pretty calm, pretty steady the whole time. Brian Abreu, he's only given up a handful of runs, maybe 1 or 2. And then Hader, we all know what Hader's been doing all season. So other than those guys, like the Dubin and Okert, like your bullpen has been freaking nails, man. And we all know that when you get into the postseason, you have to have a way to be able to shorten the game, right? And then by shortening the game, we're talking about somebody coming in the 6th inning to choke that game off in the 6th, right? I mean, that's what you want. Start in the 6th and start hitting your bullpen. So you want King, Abreu, Hader, 7, 8, 9. We'll see what happens, but that's the nitpicking of it. Like you said, Pena has been like just ever since he got moved to the leadoff spot, it's been a whole nother player.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at what he's been doing statistically compared to the other shortstops in the league, I mean, especially in, you and I both play fantasy, so does Chris. But if you look at the rankings, especially in fantasy, on where he is, he's at the top. It's unbelievable. I mean, he has been statistically blowing everybody away since he took over that leadoff spot. So I'm super impressed from what he's been doing, this entire season. Correct me if I'm wrong here. He was my breakout Astro or comeback Astro of the season. So I hope he continues this, but he's looked fantastic. And then I just want to add one more quick thing on the bullpen to what you were saying. It's, the one thing I will say, we've got to have that lockdown bullpen, just like you said, especially when we're getting towards the end of the season. But with all the pitching injuries we've had to our starting staff, man, those guys have been taxed. And don't get me wrong, it's like, listen, it's been tough watching a couple of them because we've had some games where it's just like, oh my God, man, it's like seriously like 2 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs. And then you're like, all right, next guy up, 2 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs over and over again. And you're just like, okay, can we please just blow this game off and then start anew tomorrow? But, it is what it is. When you have inconsistency in your starting rotation, you've got guys that are come up. They're going to take spot starts out of AAA and, do the best that they possibly can. You have to understand that we're going to have guys that are going to give up runs. But I agree with you, man. Abreu's been nails. Hader's been nails for sure. King's looked good for the majority of it. The ones that we've seen, I think that are starting to get a little bit tired, or Okert, or some of these guys that are a little bit more of our depth pieces into our bullpen. So hopefully these guys get some rest coming up soon. We can get our starting pitchers going a little bit deeper into some of these games, and then that'll kind of resolve itself. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and I think Hader's save also on Friday was a pretty busy save. I believe the bases were loaded. I think
Yep,
that was the
they
game.
were.
They were loaded. I think Jose Ramirez. I think he popped out to Yiner in that inning. I think. I just know that it was bases loaded. I mean, it was tense, right? So, but Hader did his thing. Got another save. But yeah, we got to nitpick the bullpen. You got to tighten up. Those few guys in there because we're going to need them. We're going to need them as the season progresses. So
Damn
so
straight.
we get the series opening win. We go into Saturday. Hunter Brown's on the mound, and we really what we do every time we know Hunter Brown's going to pitch is we just kind of say Hunter Brown's going to do Hunter Brown shit, right? I mean that's just
Pretty much.
that's just what we say. We kind of chalk it up to a win. Little bit out of control because a few starts in a row where he's had several walks. So his final line was 5 1/3, 4 hits, 1 earned, 9 Ks, 5 walks. So you read that and you're like, pretty good, right? But it's the walks, it's the traffic, it's the stressful innings, and it's the high leverage stuff per inning that's going to take the energy out of him, right? I think I know he wanted to go 6 innings, but it was just the base runners. So I don't know who came in immediately after him. It was either Okert or Dubin. Okert came in for 2/3.
I want to say Okert.
He gave up 1 run. He had 2 Ks and a walk. Dubin pitched 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned. And the thing that I wanted was Okert, right? It was Okert. And the reason why was because we were up 3-1. We were up 3-1 or 3-0 whenever Hunter left the game. And Okert and Dubin choked that up. Choked that, right? So Hunter Brown ends up getting a no decision on a day where he was struggling with command. I mean, look, you get 9 Ks. I mean, you're around the plate. I mean, and he dotted some fastballs low in the zone. I mean, he was doing Hunter Brown stuff, but he gets a no decision. Yainer Diaz hits a 2-run bomb, right? That's the Saturday game.
Yep.
That was the 6th inning. He hit the 2-run bomb. So that puts us up 3-0. The bottom of the 6th, they score their 1 run. The Guardians do, and then they tied up in the 7th. So who was the player of the game for that one? I'm pretty sure I just gave the answer to it.
Yeah, MLB called it with Yanier getting the player of the game. But I mean, to your point, like we were at 3-3 there, and then ended up going into extras. We brought Hader in the bottom of the top of the 9th.
Bottom 9.
Yeah, bottom 9. Yeah, excuse me, bottom of the 9th. I was like, are we at home? No. Anyway, bottom of the 9th. And he shut everybody down to get it into the 10th, which was fantastic. We ended up scoring 2 runs in the 10th. Thank you, Isaac Paredes, and the rest of our wonderful hitting that we had there. But same time, scored 2 in the 10th, and then Hader ended up getting the win. Then Sousa came in the bottom and shut him down. So it was, that was an all-round team effort. You're right. Brown didn't have the Hunter Brown ace stuff that we necessarily are used to seeing. But at the same time, that wasn't awful by any means, man. It's like,
I know
if that's his worst performance, dude, give me that every other time and we'll be just fine. So yeah, like seeing Hunter Brown come out there, you're right. It's right now at the way Hunter Brown is pitching this season, we think it's an automatic win with at least 6 innings and no earned run. And he's damn near done that every single time. So I can't complain if he had an off day where he had what you said 5 walks and
5
he
walks,
gave up
9
1
Ks
run
and 1 run. Yeah, 4 hits. I mean, they weren't they were on base because he put them there, right? Not because they were hard contact type stuff. I mean, he put them there. So yeah, it's I agree, man. It's hard to nitpick, but it's like, okay, we're just using Hunter Brown. He spoiled us by having those games where he had 2, 3, 4 hits, no earned runs, 8 to 10 Ks, 1 to 2 walks, 0 walks, whatever. I think the last couple starts he's had multiple walks. So it's Hunter Brown, dude. He still has a sub-2 ERA. You still can basically pencil him in for a freaking win when he goes out there, as long as the offense picks him up, So essentially, we win the series on Saturday. We go for the sweep on Sunday. That's what it was about. Would have been really nice to do the sweep on Sunday. We talked about on Thursday where the rotations were announced, I guess unofficially on Thursday. So we expected kind of LMJ to get the start. But then early this morning, the Astros drop a transaction report saying that they call up Brandon Walter and they DFA'd Forrest Whitley. And he has no more minor league options. So you have like 10 days, I think, to trade him, and then he gets put on waivers. If he clears waivers, then he can accept the assignment. I kind of suspect that he'll be back in Sugarland, right? I don't think he's going to get traded, and I don't think, he'll get picked up. He might. It might be good for him to get picked up to go somewhere else. Change the scenery. It's just been, you feel bad for the guy because he had such a top prospect, had such good, attributes. He's look, when we've seen him pitch, he's been pretty good. Just his body wasn't cooperating with him. So we'll see what happens, man. But it's kind of sad you can pretty much put a bow on the Forrest Whitley experiment for all these years, unfortunately.
Well, he kind of looked like an unfolding lawn chair in the last outing he had. And don't get me wrong, just like you were saying, it's like he's had so many injuries, we can't even count them at this point. But was it an injury that made him look so bad last time, or was it something else? Are his mechanics off? Because I think we've seen tidbits of him so many times in so many different forms of what his mechanics are. You have literally no idea what his actual pitching slot looks like when he's coming out. So anyway, that's me nitpicking as a pitching guy, but still he did look terrible his last outing. I wasn't too terribly surprised when I saw that news this morning. I said it in the last episode, and I was just maybe being a little bit of a jerk when I said it, but I was like, can we DFA him while he's pitching? Because he looked that bad.
I remember that one.
And like I said, I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but we've given him a lot of opportunities and we've stuck with him through a lot of injuries. And look, man, it just hasn't worked out. So to your point, yeah, maybe a change of scenery will help him out. If not, maybe we can go fix him in AAA again. I don't know. I have no idea what to say about Forrest Whitley. So hopefully whatever happens with him, it's going to be something positive. We'll move on. We had Walter to start the game today, and We'll just go from there.
Yeah. So let's tie a bow on Forrest Whitley, see what happens with that. But you're right. Brandon Walter gets his second start of the season. His last start was against Tampa. Did pretty damn good, right? So, and look, all in all, man, quality outing. He had a quality outing. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned, 5 Ks. Gave up a home run. Look, you're starting pitching over the weekend. Let's see. 1 earned for Gordon, 1 earned for Brown, 2 earned for Walter. So 4 earned runs over the weekend. Look, you won the series, right? So there's a check. Did what you're supposed to do. Go up there, win the series, come back home. The X on it is the fact that you bring this kid. He's a kid to me. He's almost 20
He's
years
a kid.
old.
You're good.
You bring this kid up, spot start, and he goes and gives you 6 innings and 2 earned runs. And you lose 4-2, right? You lose 4-2. They scored in the second inning, and they didn't score again until the 7th, which would have been when I'm guessing Okert came in. I'm assuming that's not really the point, right? So the point of it is that he gave up 2 early runs, and you put together 2 runs in the later part of the game. One thing real quick I want to talk about is, I just thought about it as we were talking, is that the inability for the Astros to score with the starting freaking pitcher from the opposing team is in the game. I know we have several comeback wins this year, but to go 3, 4, sometimes 5 innings, right? Like, you're not putting up any runs against the starting rotations a lot of the times. And then you're getting into the bullpen, and then you start to put some stuff together. It's just a little bit frustrating to watch because you can almost guarantee that when you turn the Astros game on, the first 3 to 4 innings is 3 up, 3 down, or a couple base runners on, but we don't do anything, whatever it is. So that was just a little soapbox moment for me. I don't know if you feel the same way about it, but look, all in all, Brandon Walter gave you a good outing today. He gave up 2 runs. You could, excuse me, you couldn't put anything together until later in the game. But the shining star was Jake Meyers, 4 for 4 today. Look, man, we're going to get into it here in a minute about possible All-Star, but let's first talk about the game today, and then we'll get into the sidebar stuff. What do you got for today?
Yeah, no, Walter had a quality start, man. You can't ask for anything more that didn't know until Saturday night that he was going to be pitching in Cleveland the next day. Sorry. I mean, dude went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs. You can't complain about that. And not only that, you should be able to score enough runs to get him the win. However, today was Sunday, and today was a getaway day where we're coming back to Houston. So guess what Espada did? He did what he was taught to do, which is put the goon squad in. So anyway, long story short, we pretty much had a AAA team with sprinkled in MLB players, not necessarily all starters. And, what do you expect when something like that happens? It's not going to be the best result, and especially when we're going to go up against Bibby. Dude, Bibby's a good major league pitcher, man.
Yeah.
He's a really good pitcher. And it's like, I don't understand the mindset of why you would just want to kind of mail this game in and not try to win it, especially when we've got the White Sox at home coming up. I mean, you can just absolutely run through that AL Central and just crush. And that's got to have a huge, huge lift for the team as far as, what they're looking at in the dugout, when they're in the clubhouse, all that. That's when party time starts. We need party time Astros that are winning all these games. And don't get me wrong, these guys on the bench, they need to get some playing time and all that kind of stuff. But get them some playing time in a game like this after you knock Bibby out of the game in like the 4th or 5th inning, and we're up 5 or 6 runs, then put your dudes in. Not necessarily start out with like, hey, you're starting over here. You're starting over here. And I don't know, where do you want to play today? It's like, come on, man. Just go ahead, put your regular lineup in. Don't get me wrong. Walter is not a part of any of that because, like I said, he got the surprise on the spot start. But everybody else, like, unless somebody specifically needs a day off, and I know Altuve got the day off today, he's been running all over the place. He's been second left field, DH. He's been doing all kinds of stuff. So fine, give him the day off. But at the same time, put the rest of your regular starters in there, at least to start the game, get some runs up in there, and then go ahead and put your guys in and give them rest, just like a spring training game. I don't know if you guys have ever watched a spring training game before, but that's the way they do it when they're about 3-4 games in. They'll have all your regular starters playing the first 3-4 innings, and then those dudes are packing their bags, headed to the clubhouse, and then pretty much trying to figure out when their tea time is after that.
Yeah.
Because they know that after they play those 3-4 innings, they're done with it. So anyway, that's just me getting on my soapbox. That's the reason, in my opinion, we lost today. We did lose 4-2. Okert came in after it was 2-2, gave up a couple runs. That was not pretty at all. Just to get back on our bullpen thing. But anyway, the highlight of the game was Jake Meyers, 4 for 4. He looked absolutely incredible at the plate all day long. So there's nothing to complain about there. And Walter, thank you for your spot start. You did a fantastic job. I'm sorry you didn't get the win out of it.
Yeah, look, I'm looking at the the box score right now, and your production from today's game came from your 4, 5, 6 guys. Yiner, 2 for 4. Myers, 4 for 4. And then Cam had that 2-run double in the 7th inning to tie the game.
Yes, sir.
Right. So that was your production. Everybody else, Offers, Pena 3 Ks, Paredes 2 Ks, Melton had 2 Ks. Shea Whitcomb got a start. So you bring this kid up from Sugar Land, and he's just now playing today. On the getaway game with a day off before an evening game on Tuesday. That's when that kid gets his at bat. doesn't make any sense for me. It's the same stuff that we saw last season when all the hype was for Loperfido, and you bring him up and he plays one game and then he goes to the milk carton for 2 games or 3 games. And it's like, why bring him up if he's just going to sit the bench? So we'll see what happens with Whitcomb. I mean, he only got 3 at bats today, struck out once. So, look, I think if it were me, and it's not me managing the team. I mean, there's nothing that Brendan Rodgers, and I'm going to speak on behalf of Chris, even though he didn't tell me this, but there's zero reason for Brendan Rodgers to continue to get playing time. If you're going to bring Shea Whitcomb up, put the kid at second base. Brendan Rodgers hit a freaking home run, I think, on Friday night. I think it was Friday. Over the series, he had a home run.
It was Friday or Saturday. I don't remember.
What I saw on X was that someone made a comment that his home run was going to lead to him playing the next game or something along those lines. And it happened. And then he went and did Brendan Rodgers stuff. Nothing. Did not contribute anything. So my gripe is, why bring these guys up for them to sit on the bench, get 3 at bats against a Tanner Bibby type pitcher, right? Like a legit major league pitcher. And then, who knows what's going to happen on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll play the White Sox. He should be playing more. I mean, Dubon was 0 for today. So there's still that end of the lineup where it's like, what are we doing down there? And it's probably going to be like that for the whole season. So until then, we'll get on our soapboxes every Sunday and Thursday.
Right.
And we'll make our comments. So, but look, man, we're just being nitpicky. Overall, like we got the series win. We did what we needed to do. Seattle's losing at home. I mean, they're losing. So we're extending our lead in the West. So look, let's not be too negative, Nancy, but you had a great outing by Brandon Walter, another great outing by that kid. So it's kind of good to know that in a pinch, if we need another spot start, he's given us reason to believe that he can actually come up and do what he's supposed to do. So with that, we got a few minutes left. Let's get into the White Sox series. They come to town starting on Tuesday. 7:10 first pitch, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Twins over the next weekend, over Father's Day weekend. I will be at the game on Sunday. My son is taking me, so that was pretty cool. So who do we have for the rotation for the White Sox series?
I'm not going to lie. For the White Sox series, we got a bunch of dudes. And I actually had to go look them up on MLB to be like, okay, wait, who is this? And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be rude. It's just that's what the White Sox are, right? So anyway, Tuesday, you have S. Smith, 2-3 with a 2.45 ERA. So I definitely want to look him up. And I was like, okay, he's got a decent record with a 2.45 ERA, but you're going up against LMJ, who's been smoking hot lately, 1-1 with a 4.49 ERA. So that's your Tuesday game. Wednesday, S. Burke, 3-6 with a 4.03 ERA against Gusto, 3-3, 4.78. And I know it's Gusto, but until further notice, I'm going to call him Gusto. Yeah. Thursday, D. Martin, 2-6, 3.62 ERA versus Fromber, 6-4 with a 3.07. So we've got 3 Astros pitchers in a row. Nobody with anything higher than a 4.78. And that is your boy Gusto. So it's looking nice.
All right. So Chris did text us. He is going 2-1 against the White Sox. I will also take 2-1 against the White Sox. My 1L would be the Gusto start just because, he really hasn't done anything to make me feel the warm and fuzzies about him going out and being consistent out there. So I'll take the LMJ Tuesday win. I will take the Fromber on Thursday, and I'll go 2-1. We got a little bit of revenge for those guys.
All right, I'm going to go a little homer on here because we are playing the White Sox, and the White Sox, they're damn near close to the worst team I've ever seen, except maybe this year's Rockies.
The Rockies are bad, dude.
Neither one of them are pretty. Let's put it that way. But right now, the White Sox, I don't know if you've even seen highlights of them. They look defeated. So I'm going 3-game sweep. Even with Gusto on the mound on Wednesday, I seriously, there's no reason for us not to win all three of these. Now, keep in mind, just from what I mentioned about the Goon Squad lineup that we have, we're not going to see that on Thursday. Why? Because PK, just like you said, we've got the Twins coming up for Father's Day weekend. It's not a getaway day. So I think we're going to see regular playing time from all of our, normal starters and stuff like that, sprinkled in, hopefully, with some of the AAA guys we get on the team right now. So anyway, that's where I'm going. I'm going 3-0. I'm definitely taking the under Tuesday. I'm definitely taking the over on Wednesday, and then the under on Thursday. So under, over, under.
I like it. Extending that lead in the AL West so we can remind Seattle where that division
3.5 game lead, baby.
I'll take it, baby. I'll take it. Well, look, we'll be back on Thursday evening. Chris should be back with us on Thursday evening, so we'll have the whole squad with us. We will recap the first two games of the series. Astros should be playing as we're on Thursday evening, so we'll get into that. But until then, I want to thank everyone for listening. Make sure you check us out on all of our social platforms. Go to YouTube. Hit the subscribe for Juicebox Heroes. Follow us on Facebook at Juicebox Heroes and on X at Juice_Box Heroes. And on Instagram, Juice_Box Heroes as well. So until then, y'all have a great week. We'll talk to y'all on Thursday.
Hook 'em, and congratulations, Lady Horns, on your national championship in softball.
Yeah, that's right. They put a beating on that game 3, didn't they?
Yes, sir, they did. Took out the #1 pitcher in the United States.